Hello everybody and welcome to the West Ham Way YouTube channel. It's Corey and of course West Ham beat Everton 1-0 at Goodison Park. I'm absolutely buzzing. It's a difficult one, isn't it? Because I think for long periods of this game, West Ham lacked a bit of a cutting edge, and I'm not going to sit here and dig out Sebastian Haller. I thought his pressing in the first 10 minutes was generally good. He did have clear-cut chances in this game that I didn't think he was very decisive. His role in this team means that West Ham struggle a little bit to get on the front foot, to get players in behind, to hurt teams with mobility. Having said all of that, I still thought he had a good performance very early on in the first half. I thought West Ham's press from the midfield, particularly side Benrahma, was fantastic. The decision to have Pablo Fornals on the left-hand side alongside Aaron Cresswell really worked. I didn't expect Carlo Ancelotti to throw in Coleman and have a Richarlison coming out to that left-hand side. So it's clearly something that Carlo thought about targeting. The role as well of both Declan Rice and Tomas Soucek, and of course we'll get on to Soucek's goal, but defensively I thought they were superb. I think when you've seen Cresswell come in central to try and win the ball, or on Angelo Ogbonna, they've stepped in, they've tidied it up, and they've given that protection to that back four that we were quite concerned about. I think we pushed Everton into areas where they couldn't really hurt us too many times. They had one ball over the top into Calvert Lewin where he was able to stretch us a bit. Sigurdsson managed to find a little bit of side down that left-hand side, but I just felt that West Ham defensively were absolutely superb, and I felt Everton really couldn't get into their groove, couldn't stretch us at all, didn't use the players in Richarlison and Calvert Lewin in the way that I thought they would and try and play between the two centre-backs. But in part, that is, of course, because West Ham's defensive shape was really, really good. And I think Moyes, particularly with this back four, won't ask his fullbacks to push on in Soucek and Cresswell. I know Soucek did get fooled a few times, but generally I thought that idea of sort of keeping to quite a central back four and preventing Everton from having too much opportunities in the middle of that final third meant that, of course, their chances were reduced. But let's be clear here, it was a very, very tight game. It was scrappy. I think if I'm being negative, I have a tendency to look at both the negatives and the positives, but the transition was too slow. And I've said that for weeks and weeks. And even with this Everton game, I think Everton, when they get into the defensive shape, are incredibly difficult to break down. You saw Tom Davies playing in that pivot role to cover. Doucouré's athleticism can hurt teams as well, not only in his offensive, but his defensive work rate. And I think West Ham, with Pablo Fornals down that left, looking to come back in, even asking Aaron Cresswell to make that overlap, does hurt us offensively. I know Cresswell got a few chances, but again, it was difficult to really create anything against an Everton side that defensively have been superb. 10 minutes into the second half, of course, Mickey Antonio comes on. I think West Ham were trying to push up a little bit more in the second half and try and be a little bit of adventurous. I thought Jared Bowen, when he came central, started to create and find pockets of space, and we looked like we could create something possibly, but we didn't really have that cutting edge or that player to run in behind to trouble Everton. Mickey Antonio changes the way we play in general. I don't think he was fantastic today by any stretch of the imagination. He's still coming back from a long-term injury, but it gives Everton's different problems. The way our team reacts to Mikel Antonio being on the pitch changes the way we play, and I think we look to play a little bit more in behind. We look to stretch teams. We look to get men in beyond, and I think we missed that, the ability to play a low block and to have a forward line that can stretch teams and allow us to sit in that position. You saw first half, Tomas Soucek, which did work in the end, having to go create these long runs in order to give us something to latch onto. So having Mickey means we can have a better defensive shape, but also allows us to get up the pitch and start to create a little bit more. The decision to bring on Yama and Lanzini, again, I wanted Lanzini on for Fornals. So I guess in that respect, but slotting them into the left and the right, I don't think really changed things too much. Again, it was a really, really tight game, and I think it could have gone either way. I know they didn't create too much, but bringing on James Rodriguez is a nightmare in itself. He was getting into these pockets of space, particularly on that right-hand side, and giving Cresswell a few questions. But certainly, I think we managed to nullify the likes of Calvert Lewin. West Ham defensively, in terms of that back four, are really showing a real awareness of that ball over the top that I think teams are trying to hit him with. Everton tried it a number of times. We switched onto that threat as well. Soucek on Richarlison, I thought he was absolutely superb today. Probably won't get spoken about enough, but he really did a job on him. And I know he's come back into the side, Richarlison, but he really nullified him, prevented him. Even when they started to throw on and play James Rodriguez in that free role when he came to the left and Richarlison comes a little bit central, for West Ham was superb, and it did suit us defensively. We were fantastic defensively, and we were switched on. The goal, the Tommy Soucek goal, it's probably the first time really in the game that I think West Ham got beyond Everton. And I said, like, a lot of teams this season haven't really tried to use mobility to get him beyond, but Soucek does have that athleticism. And listen, the initial shot is fantastic. The touch, the shot, Pickford a decent save. And again, Cresswell is in that advanced position at that time where West Ham have pushed up the pitch. And he's asking Pickford, therefore, to make a save or come out, and the defence is unsure. And Tommy Soucek, and we see this time and time again, his late runs, his positioning at that back post is crucial, and he's nicked that goal. And West Ham, I think deserved it on the balance. Defensively, we were superb. We nullified Everton, but we lacked a cutting edge. We lacked a player to stretch things, and we probably weren't adventurous. But I can understand the scepticism. But you have to look at Tommy Soucek and say he's pulled it out of the bag there. It's a fantastic goal. It's a brilliant result, 3-0, a clean sheet. And I know we look back at that Southampton game and say maybe we could have got a result in that game, but listen, 4 points from Southampton and Everton pushing top 4 as well. And when they really didn't create too many clear-cut chances, I don't want to. I'm not going to be critical. I'm going to enjoy this for as long as I can because it's a fantastic performance. It was an overall fantastic defensive performance, and I think fair play. We started side Benrahma from the beginning. It's great to see him in the side. I thought his pressing, as I said earlier, off the ball was phenomenal. And I think he gets a lot of criticism and stick, but he is blending and he is beginning to sort of acclimatise to the type of squad that David Moyes wants to see. So listen, fantastic performance by West Ham. We got the result. We got the 3 points. I am buzzing. We're up there now on points with City and Tottenham. Listen, I know we ain't going to be there. Maybe not long term, but we're certainly back on track. I will return for an opposition reaction with the Blue Boys Network tomorrow, so you will have that as well. Then, of course, we've got the Fans' Voice. We'll return on Wednesday evening where we'll discuss everything from this game and the past couple, January transfer market, as well as the FA Cup. I'll try and put out a predicted 11 for the FA Cup. I can't promise you because Stockport County, I'm not sure how much footage there is on them. And the watch along will return on the 11th of January, where the boys will be back. And we will hopefully see West Ham go through in the FA Cup and possibly see a couple of youngsters, possibly see EVEWHU come through. So listen, I'm buzzing. Great result. Come on, you Irons. And until next time, take care.